All right, what's good, everybody? What is good? All right, so I'm gonna chill for a bit. I mean, we are live. What is going on? Let me try to share this live though. Let's get some more people in here. Yeah, say what's up in the chat though. Say what's up in the chat. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let's see what we can do. All right, yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, so we're going to cover some stocks today, and we're going to see what we can do, and just really see what can the stock market bring us for this week. And yeah, let's get this going. So if you have any stocks as well that you want me to mark up, let me know in the chat. Let me just put a message. If you have any stocks you would like for me to mark up, let me know in the chat. Honey Jack, what is up? How we doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining this live stream. I wanted to hop on and see, let's try to run it on YouTube today, right? Let's try to run it on YouTube and see what we can do. What's up, Bruce? How we feeling? Are you ready for this week? I mean, I'm prepared. I'm ready. I'm ready to go on these live calls for this week and really see what this market is about, because we do have a few stocks in mind that can really shake some things up. All right. So if you haven't seen the YouTube, again, before we start, check the YouTube channel. I posted videos, how to mark up charts. I posted 2 this week, which was how to read trading charts like an expert, even if you're a beginner. All right, so we're gonna backtrack and go to the basics and see how we can start reading these charts. And again, it's still based off like the whole simplified approach, and it's really good to have that refresher. And also, I posted the second video, how to draw trend lines the right way. All right, so most traders do it wrong, but in that video, I covered it in 6 to 7 minutes. And that's really what the goal is try to push these videos, but make sure that like they're very, very like simplified. All right, make it simplified. And so if you haven't watched that, I posted that video earlier today, and that's why I was on Instagram posting like, yeah, I'm learning. It's like me, I'm new, and just try to watch that video and just take notes, right? So each video that I'm posting, take notes, because those videos, It's very simplified, and I just try to, keep things simple for you to understand. Doing good, bro. How about you? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's kind of raining over here in Florida, but I'm ready to lock in and just trying to jump on this stream and just really, cover some stocks, right? Tonight. Good. I am ready. Do you have a few stocks in mind that you're currently watching? I mean, I have a few, and that's what, yeah, we're going to cover today. All right. So is anybody else in here? I mean, if you want to say what's up, say that into the chat. I am ready. If you're ready, I'm ready, and let's get this started. All right. And so, like I said, if you have any stocks in mind, like you want me to like mark up, throw it into the chat, and I'll be happy to cover that. All right. So before we start, I want to cover crypto. All right. I want to cover crypto and see, what we can expect with crypto over the week and how Bitcoin really is shaking some things up. And let's cover that right now. All right. So let's go on Bitcoin and let's go on to a daily time frame. So look at this. So right now, Bitcoin is at an area where there is clear support, and Bitcoin is something where we've seen big drops, right? Back into like what, 108s, and we're just testing those levels. And there could be two things, all right? It's either we bounce off this level and start seeing some crazy run-ups, or we could just break below the blue line and we could tank right back down to 100 or maybe the 90 marks, right? So I would say, just based off what I see, there is a lot of movements and a lot of like reactions right at that 108 level. And so what that could mean for the stock market is that we can see Mara going up, we can see Robinhood going up, we can see Coinbase going up, we can see, what's another one? Riot, and we could also see HUT that can just, shoot up as well. So as of now, Bitcoin is at a level where we found buyers, all right? And that is at the 108, 110 areas. So now what does that mean for this week? So the thing for this week is that we have clear areas where there is resistance, right? Because we just found an area at 109, 110 where it's just bouncing and buyers are just putting, more money back into the market at that level. So if we continue on holding this red area, which is the red zone, and I just marked it out because I see a lot of reactions, and that means that there is a lot of buyers at those areas, right? So if I start seeing higher highs and higher lows, we can see something like this, right? So that means that we can see 112, 113, 115, 116, 120, 125. And what does that mean? If we start hitting above 125, then that is something where we can say that, hey, Bitcoin doesn't want to go down. It remains bullish, and we can continue on what? Running up stocks like I mentioned. Oops, let me see what is going on here. So let me just actually, all right, cool. So look at this. So like I said, if Bitcoin continues to hold this level and we continue to run up and we see higher highs and higher lows, we can say that Coin, HUD, Riot, Coin, HUD, Riot, Mara, and also HUD, right? These are the main stocks that I would say we can go ahead and focus on, right? Because if we really want to see these stocks, right, Coin, HUD, Riot, Mara, HUD, to continue holding and continue to see some upside, then Bitcoin is really the one that has to lead the way, right? If we see, like I said, if this makes higher highs and higher lows throughout the whole night and tomorrow morning, most likely the stocks that I've mentioned here on the left-hand side, Coin, HUD, Riot, Mara, HUD, we can see a lot of buyers stepping in. But what does that mean for us traders, right? You can either use it as, let's just say for tomorrow, Bitcoin continues to run like around 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and you can use one of these stocks to find day trades, right? Day trades or scalps. But if you feel like this is like a much more, longer approach where you can really see Bitcoin just hold this key level here, then CoinHud, Riot, Mara Hut, which is those stocks on the left-hand side, you don't have to day trade it. What you can do is place a swing, right? A swing meaning that you want to hold it overnight, over the week, over the month, or the next couple of months, right? So, so yeah, just keep in mind that Bitcoin just today, right? Just today, we bounced very hard. And today is a Sunday, right? So you can save this level, which is 109. And at that 109, we can see a nice run up to like 125 if we start seeing higher highs and higher lows. So how do we do that, right? Remember, if you go back into this one YouTube video that I posted here the other day, which is 5 days ago, how to read trading charts like an expert, you can mark this Bitcoin out successfully, like very simple. And right now it's just holding that key level, and you can see that you can use that bounce and focus on these stocks, all right? You want me to cover SPY, AMD, and PLTR? Yeah, we'll do that in a few, all right? So if you're in this stream right now, say what's up in the chat. I wanna see who's all in here because yeah, we're doing this YouTube stream again. All right, so CoinHud, Riot, Mara Hut. So save this and also save this chart if you like. And if you feel like, yeah, this is the Bitcoin's bottoms, then hey, you got a watch list right here on what you can save for this upcoming week. Okay, so but yeah, let's do this. Let's remove it. And yeah, so right now, like I said, it's just holding really, really well. But it just has to make higher highs and higher lows. All right, but let's look at the stocks, right? The stocks that we just seen, the one that we just wrote, right? So let's go on coin and let's go on to a daily. All right, so let me just remove these drawings real quick. So here we go. So it's the same exact thing, right? Same exact thing. We have key demand, and on this key demand, we can hold this red area, which is this key support, right? So we're going to write a note right here, and we're going to say that this is a key support. All right, so this key support area is something where buyers are accumulating holding areas, which is buy, right? So it's at the 306. So at the 306 area, all we need to see here is buyer step in. And this looks at something very, very similar to what we've seen on GameStop, right? Because when it was holding that demand zone, the next day or the next 3 days, we saw like a big pop, right? We saw like a big bounce. And so the thing is, like, if we hold 305 or 306, then that means that there is real buyers underneath these areas, right? So again, these are real levels, right? This is an area where there was a lot of buying going on, because if you look at this, if I just, measure the movements, we can say, where's my thing? $53 movements, right? $53 movements of the share price. So if it's holding, let's just say the 300 level, and it jumps to like, 346, and that's a couple of days, like 4 to 5 days, that can either lead to a scalp, that can lead to a day trade, that can lead to, day by day looking for volume, and you can start, trading that, right? Same thing over here. If we use that same red level or that key support area, you can see that there is $53, $55 movements in that zone, right? And look at this. This is not hours. This is real days, right? This is like, what, 8 to 10 days of a run-up, ran $53, right? So now the same thing over here. If you buy again at the same level, 305, and we hold, and we start seeing, day by day, the volume increases, then, hey, we can see, another $53 movement potentially. But let's just say this time it doesn't move, $53, but it moves more, right? It moves more. So 53 to possibly, 63, 70, 77, 80. And that's where the market can do, right? Because what do we have over here? We have a gap. This is a whole gap that we have on this chart where we can come back and fill. But what is at that level? That level is showing us that there is sellers, right? There's a lot of sellers at that price. Because think about it. On coin, when the market dropped, it left behind a gap. And remember, what do we say? On those imbalances or on those big drops or those big run-ups, at some point, we don't know when, right? We don't know when. Those areas can fill, right? Those areas can fill and mitigate. It can be the same week. It can be in 3 weeks. It can be in 6 weeks, right? So that's what we're now potentially seeing on coin, since let's just say Bitcoin is holding and we can see price, bounce, right? So, I mean, this is just something like I'm saying, it's kind of interesting, like how coin has been holding this level for quite some time, because this is back in August, right? This is back in August. So August till now, August, September, and October, which is, this brand new month, which is this upcoming week. And we want to see what October brings. Can it really bring a bullish rally? Can we see the S&P increase and go up? Then that's the level that we can focus on, right? So if you want to add this to your watch list, you can. But right now we're starting with those crypto stocks and what Bitcoin is doing right now. And what can this mean? If the market or if the price breaks below this support line, then that means that the market can now come back down to this level down here, right? Which is 256 and, the low 240s. But if that does happen, then Bitcoin has to, give some sort of crash, right? And if that falls, the S&P is going to fall as well, right? Because if the S&P becomes bearish the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks, then of course this stock right here is going to continue on falling. So what you really want to do is, like, if you're trading these stocks like Coin, HUD, Riot, Mara, you just have to look at Bitcoin, which is the first one, and then also the S&P, just to see on how you can align things together and, just move forward with that, right? So that's coin. If you want to save this, you can. But this is what we have right here, all right? Let me see. Let's check HUD. Perfect. So look at this. Right now, HUD, we can clearly see that this is like clearly going up. And look at this. New highs. New highs. So now look at this. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and higher high. So based off this higher high and higher low, can the market continue on, seeing a run up? Yeah, of course. It definitely can continue seeing a run up, right? So as of now, if we, let's just say, place a zone, right here, right now the market is holding, right? The market is holding. So like I said, if Bitcoin continues on holding and seeing some, run-ups, then this level can do that as well. But the thing now is that if we zoom all the way in, right? All the way in. Remember, what did we just speak about Coinbase? If it didn't hold that one zone, then we can meet that other zone at the bottom. So as of now, I know that there is traders, leaving in like areas like this, and this is like a trend line, right? And this is what we're doing on that one YouTube video over here on how to draw trend lines the right way. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and do that, because that really, shows you on how a market can either break down at some point, but also could that mean a discount buy for yourself, or could that mean just like a pullback where you can just short the market again? So you can see that there was days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 days of the market just bouncing in between, right? Those lines. And I was just teaching this on how to do this the right way on that one YouTube video. But now if it breaks down below that trend line, then we can see the market just flush a little bit. And that's what it did right here. And so if we continue breaking new lows and should start seeing like this the next 2 to 3 days, most likely the market wants what? This gap right here. I'm not saying go ahead and like short the market right now, or yeah, just take it to see new lows. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that these are just two things that you have to see, which is, could it mean a discount, market to continue pushing up, or could Bitcoin and the S&P continue to, let's just say pull back and see, some sell-offs? Then that means that HUD most likely might just run right back down, and we're going to test this area down here, which is an area of demand, which is what we call buyers, right? If buyers step in at that area and they really want to buy at the 100 or 102, hey, that'll be even better for us traders, because we can see that the market is now balancing out the way that it should. And then that's where we can now all come back in with fresh money, fresh new positions, and we can find swings into the market, right? So as of now, that's just on how HUD looks like. And also, if you want me to mark out some, some stock or some crypto, whatever it is, put it into the chat, because I'm going to do that right now, or like in a few. So let's go on to another one, which is HUD. And this is going to be a weekly time frame. Okay, so this is going to be the weekly time frame, but I'm loving these pullbacks. Like, I'm loving these rundowns in the market, because it's totally normal, right? It's totally normal. So look at this. We were covering HUD the past week, and all this has been doing is just making new highs, right? So HUD is still it's still on the radar. It really is. And I believe this can do something like what we've seen on HUD, which is all-time highs, right? If you've seen Robinhood, all-time highs. And this is on how it started off, okay? And we spoke about this before that run-up, totally happened, which was when HUD was like $18 per share or $20 per share. And then out of nowhere, just like skyrocketed. So if you want to get a similar move, then I believe that HUD is one of the stocks that can really, do those numbers. So you might be like, well, how do we enter? So remember what I say, every time that we make a new higher high, somehow we pull back, right? Every time that the market makes a new higher high, the market pulls right back down, so it can give us an opportunity as us new traders or new investors to put more money back into the market, okay? So look at this. Now that the market made a new high, where are we testing right now? Most likely we're going to come back down and test this level, and that's what we're doing right now. We're testing that level to see if we can come back down, and then money can kick right back in. And if that happens, then perfect. So really the levels to look at on this stock, because we traded this this past week or the 2 weeks ago, and we can save this level right here. All right, right here. So that's the level. Okay, so the high's at 39.47, right? And also the pullback right now is happening around 30, 31, or the high 32s. All right, so if we come back down to 32 or 31 and we start seeing a hold, then this is going to be, pretty much just put back onto my watch list, where I'm just looking at every single morning, every single day on this stock, just to see on how it's looking like, and can I put my money into there? If so, then hey, I'm gonna place position, but it won't be like probably the same week. It might be like a 3 to 6 week out expiration, because what I want is to buy low in these areas and then start taking it to like 48 or 52. All right, so we've seen setups like this, and if you day trade or scalp, you've seen setups like this in the past, where yeah, it comes back down and holds this level, and then it just starts shooting up out of nowhere, right? And the only difference from that lower time frame with a bigger time frame, because on this chart this is a 1 week, but think about if this were to be a 1 minute time frame, right? Think of it if it were to be a 1 minute time frame. it would happen in 5 minutes. It would happen in 15 minutes. Maybe it would happen in 30 minutes. But now let's just say that this is a 1 week time frame. This can happen in 30 weeks, right? Or it can happen in 6 weeks. So that's where I come in and be like, all right, maybe I don't want to do this week expiration because maybe there can be some sort of chop, or maybe, you know, Bitcoin or SPY's like kind of very, very choppy right now. That's totally cool. Let me see how I can get the best expiration and go from there, right? So that's just really what I'm looking at on this stock. All right. So another one before we, you know, jump onto the stocks that we have a few people named in the chat. So let's do Mara, right? So Mara is another one where right now we are currently in, again, demand. And on these demand zones or in these areas, buyers are just chilling, right? But remember, this is what was it? This is what HUT was looking like, right? It was just in this area, but then out of nowhere, the volume just increased, right? So if we go back on HUT real quick, look at this. It was the same exact thing. So if you believe that Mara, so take a glance at HUT real quick, but then if you go on Mara, this can do the same exact thing, right? So remember, each stock has its own timing to do its thing. Maybe it's just because their earnings report, maybe they met expectations, or, you know, something good news or positive news came in on Mara, which has caused the spike. So that's where you have to really just check every single day, or not every single day, but every single week. What's coming in onto the stock? What are they talking about it? You can check on CNBC. You can check on Yahoo Finance. You can check on, what is it? Yeah, those are the main two. Those are the main two that I would recommend, like, to really do research on a company and see on how they're performing or what they're talking about, right? But yeah, Mara is, you know, one of the stocks that can really do numbers in the next like 3 to 6 months, then hey, you know, I could put my money into that. So, but yeah, just check this stock out before it rips, because I really think that this can rip as well. But yeah, so that's the one that I'm also, you know, looking at, right? So good, I'm ready to SPY. All right, so let's do the S&P. All right, so if you have any other stock that you want me to, you know, mark out, let me know, and yeah, we'll go from there. So right here, so right now I just want to see what happened within the last 5 days. And within the last 5 days, we've seen that the market was just going down and then going up, right? Going down and going up. So really, I would say just really just wait until we either break above or break below this level, right? So 667, all right? So this is a weekly time frame. Let me just put a price level right here. 667, and then also, let me see, 654, all right? So 654. Wait until we break above 667, and if we break above that area, then that's a good sign, right? But I would say really, for right now, since we did have like a big bearish, you know, rundown and then a big run up as well, like towards like Thursday and Friday, you got to be very, very careful, because there is indecision happening right now, and that's what this candlestick means. It's just a 50-50. But if we look at this, we have a lot of buying going on, but then at the same time, each time that it makes a high, it slows right back down, right? It slows right back down. So the thing is, like, are we going to see the stock market crash a little bit, or could we see it run up a little bit? So on Friday, I took the chance to just short it real quick, and the market somehow just reversed right back up. And so if we hold above 667.48, and that's the level that we hold, and we see a run up, then hey, you know, SPY is going to continue on running up. And that's the stocks that we're just looking at. Coin, Hood, Riot, all these other stocks can do the same exact thing. But now if you look at Bitcoin right now, it's currently blasting off to the upside. So if Bitcoin is pushing up the market, then, you know, SPY, you know, can be doing that right now, right? So I would say these are the two levels to really just wait for this week. And just if we break above here, then hey, perfect. If not, we can start breaking down below 654 and we can start looking at lower targets, right? Lower areas where there can be more areas where we can expect a rundown, right? So the same exact thing. So if we go back onto, you know, this one video, right? This one video, how to draw trend lines the right way, you'll look at something like this. So we'll do something like that. And there you go. So it looks like there is a lot of support at these areas. And at these support areas, that's where the market can now like come back down into and then bounce, right? So you really want to just put on a line just like this on a weekly and see if we can hold that area. But if we don't, then yeah. But yeah, that's just on how it's looking like. So let me just delete this. But yeah, that's the levels that I would say, yeah, just watch on the S&P. So PLTR, right? So PLTR. So PLTR, I really think that we can still push up. This is a demand at the bottom, supply at the top. If we go into lower time frames, this is a level where I think we can still continue to hold and see a big pop off. I am still holding calls, which is those 200 Cs. And if we see something like this, and we see like a breakout, then that'll be perfect, right? That would be an amazing move. So if the market does something like this, perfect, right? That is a wedge where the market was just consolidating. And all week, PLTR has been doing nothing but just doing this, right? And so, but yeah, just keep tabs on PLTR. And I believe we can do a big movement this week. If not, it can be the following week. But I put a bet, right, an expiration where I believe that PLTR is going to give us a big move, right, for this upcoming week, right? But if it doesn't, then I am wrong about the prediction that PLTR wasn't going to, you know, pop off this week, and I could be wrong. And maybe 2 weeks from now, right? Or not this week that's coming up, but the week after, it can shake some things up. And I was wrong by a week, right? I missed it by a week or an extra week. So, but yeah, PLTR, like I said, it has more room to go. It is making higher highs and higher lows. And then this is just what I'm expecting, right? Because you could just see that the overall trend is just making new higher highs and higher lows, all right? So also, that is something that I am watching. But if you want me to mark up a chart, let me know. Put it into the chat. And I want to continue this stream with you all. And we can go move forward. So yeah, so name a stock that you want me to mark up. I'll be waiting right here. We are chilling tonight. Anybody else? Anybody else want me to mark up a chart? I mean, this is PLTR. Oh, so right. I thought I did that one. Come on, guys. Come on. Throw some stocks. I want to see, you know, some stocks that I can mark up for everybody. And Riot does actually look good. I would say this is like a scam wick that just happened. What is that? That's the highest point, 20.16, and then rejected back to 18. I really don't think that's like the main high. But I would say look at this. So set that level just like this and just wait for that breakout. So Riot on the 4 hour, we could see something like that, right? So I just seen someone comment AMD. I did want to cover that because I did cover that earlier, or I did mark it up earlier. But look at this. Riot, as of now, does look like one of those stocks that can like push higher or just see new highs. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. There we go. I like that. I like everybody, you know, that's throwing in some stocks. I like it because I want to cover the stocks that you're watching. So there you go. So as of now, we have seen, right, most of these movements pretty much give you the same exact thing, which is run-ups, but then after the run-ups, the market breathes for a little bit. So Riot should be expecting a move either tomorrow or if not within the next 2 market days. So it could be by Tuesday. So if we do break above, right, if we do break above this level at 18, right, at the 18 price, then that can shoot the market up, right? That can make crazy highs. But I would say if you're trying to day trade it, you can trade the first break, right? But that's going to be a quick in and out. If you are expecting like 21 or 22 or 23, my recommendation would be try to do like a 2 to 3 week out. And this is what I would do. If I seen, you know, if I were to trade Riot, I would look for a break and a retest, right? Break and a retest, and then trade at the retest. And then that's where I could like take like a 2 to 3 week out expiration. So it really comes down to on how the S&P and also Bitcoin looks. But this looks like one of those setups that if we hold and break above, then that can you know just shoot the market right back up. So like I said, that is something that you want to see because there is a lot of resistance and a lot of supply at the 18 price. So we have Apple. So we have a few Apple. So yeah, this. So break above the 18 price because that's a lot of resistance, right? So you have what 3-4 days, right? 3 to 4 days of the market just rejecting that area. If we fail and we don't break above 18, then the market's going to crash right back down and we test like 14 again, basically, right? So you have to really see day by day, are we breaking new highs? Can we really see that this price, the share price, continue on pushing up? I believe so. So if we break above and start seeing 18, what you want to see is, okay, the next day or the next 2 days, can you see an increase in percentage? Can we see 1850? Can we see 19? Can we see 19.20? Can we see 19.60? Then that's really what you want to see, right? So if you want to do shares, you can, or if you want to do like later expirations, you can. Just if you want to have more flexibility within your stop loss, within your price targets, I would say don't do weekly expirations. Try to do something way further out, right? So that's 18, right? So look at the 18 level because if we don't break above that, then we're gonna fail and come back down. Let's do AMD. All right, so AMD. So AMD earlier, I was looking at this and it was looking like we can clearly see that this is like in a downtrend, right? In a downtrend. But the thing is, like with this one, we are currently like holding this key level, which is a supply zone basically. So at the 161 or 163, oh, so sorry for my handwriting, 161 and 163, this is key areas of demand at one point because again, it was holding to go up, but then look on how the market just said, hey, we don't like that zone, we don't like that level. The market just came back down and just saw 150, right? So now what you can do on AMD is do this. So this is the main lows, and this is what we're talking about like 2 weeks ago. If we break down below and then come right back up, that's the supply zone, right? Because now it's the same exact thing. So look at this. Supply at the 162, 161, then that shows us that there is sellers at those areas, right? And think about it. This is a 1 hour time frame or 4 hour time frame. So if we put a, I would say a date range after that, the break of this, the demand zone, because at one point it was like this. It was like this. It was like this, but there's no demand anymore at the moment, right? At the moment. But now that we broke down, then that means that sellers are in control. And it looks like we have something like this right now. We have 23 days, right? 23 days of the market that went below that area, but then it came back and retest what level? 161 and 162. So in 23 days, right? All we see is just a consolidation now, right? But right now, sellers are eating that price up and they keep on shorting the market. So at the bottom right here, this is the demand zone. So now the thing is that the levels to watch for AMD would be the previous market day levels, which is this right here. So I'm gonna zoom all the way in like this and watch this level down here and also up here. That's it. Because that's the area where it was the last sell-off, which is the biggest impulsive move, which is 162.42 if you want to save that, and also 157.03. So if we break below 157.03, then we can come back down and possibly test 152, right? So you can see that's like a $4 movement or $3 to $4 movement, and we can, you know, short the market to there. But let's just say if the market, SPY, tech stocks, NASDAQ, everything else starts shooting the market up, then that's where the market can now break above 162 and start seeing something like this. And there's no more sellers, right? No more sellers. And the market can start making higher highs and higher lows, which would honestly make sense, right? If, again, the S&P would be bullish. So I would say above 162, ooh, that's a bad green. 162.42 and below 157.03, that's where, you know, the levels that you should have for this upcoming week, okay? So that's AMD. So let's do, what is it, gold? Yeah, I'll do gold last. All right, I'll do gold last, but let's do Apple real quick. So Apple. So remember Apple, we covered this like 2 weeks ago. Apple 2 weeks ago, we held a demand zone, and we were holding this area, and then out of nowhere, the market just like rallied, right? It just rallied. But now the thing is that we have a lot of buyers stepping in, right? Buyers stepping in, and you just see that there's a lot of crazy moves. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher. We can't see that this is a higher low yet because it hasn't made a new higher high, but this is the levels to watch. So 251 and 257, right? We're almost close to 257 or above 257. But right now we should be like, all right, this is supply zone right here because it hasn't really broken above. And this is the demand zone right here. So all you want to see here is the market do this. So let me move this here. All you want to see is the market do this. Hold here, pull back, hold here, pull back, hold here. And then you want to see something like that, right? That would honestly be the best thing to see, like a crazy push, is to see the market consolidate on a Monday and on a Tuesday, right? And then by Wednesday or Thursday, we can see like a big push to the upside. So that's right there would be very, very amazing, because this is something very similar to what we've seen over here, right? Over here. So look at the green zone. You can see that every time that the market like came back down, it held, and then out of nowhere, it blasted off and just saw all-time highs, right? Same thing over here. What you want to see is the market come back down, and if it comes back down, that can be an opportunity to place a position. But if you really expect that the market can consolidate, then you can extend your expiration, right? If that's what you're doing, right? If like you're trying to not day trade this or scalp this, then I would say, try to look into a further out expiration. So let me go into weekly, and yeah, look at this. Right now, Apple on a monthly time frame, great things, right? Good things. This is the level that we had before, and remember on AMD, remember that one zone that we're currently rejecting? It looked just like that, but Apple had the same exact thing before. Let me just save it right here. This one right here, it kept rejecting that area, which is that zone. But every time that it just rejects that area, run down, run down, run down. But then out of nowhere, it creates like a crazy demand or support, and then buyers just stepped in, right? And that's what we were talking about AMD, that if that one red line of that level breaks above, then you're just gonna see something like this. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So now the best thing to do is let Apple consolidate just a little bit more, and then we can see another run up in the future, right? It could be the next 3 days, it could be the next 5 days, but Apple is very, very bullish, all right? So is there any other stock that you want me to cover, right? I would say put that right now into the chat, because yeah, I pretty much already covered a few stocks. Also, I want to cover another one, which is GameStop, real quick. GameStop is another one that can really do numbers, and GameStop was like this. Let me actually, right here. So GameStop on a daily, right? On a daily, we can still come back down into this demand zone, 23 to 24. I still think we can, but the only way for me to remove that thought or remove the that bias would be like break above the 27 mark. If that happens, then you're gonna see GameStop just like do a crazy, crazy rip, and then we can completely see a mitigation of these more gaps on the left-hand side and just start seeing more highs, right? So it's the same exact thing. If we extend this area right here, a lot of buyers are interested at GameStop around 22. So the thing here is like the goal in the stock market is to really buy areas where there was interest before, and could we either be a participant of those areas very quick, or could it be something long term? If you are into the markets, like I would say just quick in and outs, then of course you can scalp, you can day trade, but scalping and day trade will be like grabbing the same week expiration. But if you're using a GameStop like a bigger picture or like a longer term approach, there's no really point to grab a same week expiration. What you would do would be grabbing like 3, 6, 8, 12 week out expiration if you are like doing analysis like this. But why are we doing this higher time frame analysis? It's just because we are trying to not just look for tomorrow's levels, because tomorrow's levels could be changed, right? So as a trader, what you should be doing is looking at the pre-markets every single morning and see on how the pre-market comes in, because maybe there was some sort of news that kicked in the morning or overnight that makes the stock gap up or gap down, right? If it gaps down, then hey, one of the markups that we had onto GameStop, let's say, has worked, and that's where we could put our eyes onto, and we're like, okay, this is an area where we can slowly start buying in. So remember, the goal here is to buy low, right, and sell high the best way as possible. And also learn market structure. Market structure is really going to tell you on how the market can move back to back and where you place your entries, right? So let's just say in the past, if I were to say, I was to be using this level over here on the left-hand side, the market came down at this area, and then slowly it just started buying up. right? And what do I got to do next? Look at the higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. I can find areas of interest, and let's just say, all right, there was a big pop right there. If there was a big pop right there, then what can I do? Look for a pullback in that same area and place some money in here. Whatever I can risk. Either, it's $100, $300, $500, $1,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever it is. But what you're doing is you're placing a bet and you're trying to buy right here and sell at the new high basically. And if you hold and hold and hold, and now you have more room to work with the flexibility of a stop loss, trailing stops, taking profits, then now you can get some moves like this, right? Is it always gonna happen? No, but again, this is where the market, it's there for it to do, is to give crazy pops, but who buys at the crazy pops? FOMO traders, undisciplined traders, and that's why it's very important when you see big pops, you don't try to chase it and be like, okay, let me just put my money in there. You have to really just do the best and just wait for the market to pull back just a little bit. Sometimes you're gonna see crazy pullbacks. Sometimes you see like little small pullbacks, and then it just starts skyrocketing again, right? And so in this case, GameStop came back down like this, and now we're seeing what? Mini buys, mini buys, mini buys. And then look at this, GameStop is now seeing an increase in shares. So, and now what do I got to do next? Is to continue seeing higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. This is the first run up. Right now, this is the first pullback. And if the market doesn't want to come back down and test like the 23 or 24 mark, then we're going to come back and break above 27.80 and then start seeing like 30, 34, 36. And there you go. And that's where the whole FOMO, everybody, puts GameStop on their watch list and everybody just wants to trade GameStop. And then that's where the money starts increasing. There you go, right? That's on how the stock market really works and how we can utilize the markets to buy here and sell here. We don't want to really get greedy because, again, greed is one of the most things, like the number one thing that really destroys us as traders if we're not careful. And just make sure that this week is to be very disciplined, respect your stop loss, and really just focus on your game plan. If you don't have a game plan before you start the day, you already lost. Or let's just say if you don't have a game plan and you're trying to trade and you do place a trade without a game plan, you already lost. So have a game plan, set some notes, set some key levels, and if you get stopped out, you get stopped out, right? But I would say really focus on stocks that's ready to move. If you feel like, all right, if it didn't touch your level, don't trade it. If it didn't give the reaction off your level, don't trade it. That's it. So I would say that's pretty much what I want everyone to do. But yeah. So that's just what we have on GameStop. So I would do one more. Does anybody want me to break down one more stock, or just the first one that they want me to? Yeah, I'll do the first one that gets the comment. So one more stock, and then we'll call it a day or a night. So one more. So just one more. Anybody? One more stock that they want me to break down. One more stock. Anybody? Are we all good? I'll give 30 more seconds. And then, yeah, we'll call it a night. All right, so we're good. BMNR. Okay, I'll do that in a few. And if you haven't watched the YouTube videos, the last two, go ahead and do that tonight and or tomorrow morning. But I want you to watch these these two videos. These two videos is really going to help you a lot. And I did throw some gems in there, so watch those. And if you like it, hit the like. If you don't like it, dislike. If you like, I don't care. But yeah, just watch those. All right, watch those videos. Yeah, I'll do those really quick. BMNR. BMNR. So BMNR would be like, I would say, we can see a pullback back down to like 44. Right now, we are breaking a wedge like here, but most likely it's going to come back up to hit like 53 and then reject right back down and hit like 44 again. So yeah, tomorrow or the next 2 days, you might just see like this just like run up, but then it just shoots right back down to the downside. So I would say this one would be like a weekly type of play, but not like a long-term type of move, if that makes sense. So that move would just be temporary push. All right, so let's do Tesla real quick. And then, yeah, we'll call it a night. So Tesla, same exact thing. We are going to test back up to like 445. And on that 445, we can break up to the upside. But remember, that would be like a very quick in and out, because what you don't want is the market to pull all the way back down. So yeah, there could be like a big push up to the upside on Tesla, but what you want to see is a retest to get like a much more better, clear confirmation, and then a hold and start doing this. Because think about it, if the people, trade Tesla and that breaks 445 level, yeah, that could run up, but also what you want to see, the best thing to do is like to get clear, good quality setups is to get a retest and then a run up again, right? So that is what Tesla's, could do. Because if you were to say over here, the market ran up above like resistance like this, what you want to see is run-ups, either a pullback into here or just run-ups, consolidations, and then run-ups. Run-ups, consolidations, and then run-ups. So right now, I would say since there hasn't been really a run-up and a main pullback, then this one would be the one that would most likely run up, pull back, and then run up again. Because if this does break out, most likely it's going to be a big push, but then also it can be like a big pullback. So you got to be very careful. So if you are day trading that, be careful and just be very quick as possible on that. So Tesla's still bullish. So I would say watch for a break above 445. And then if it does, then you can go like on lower time frames and look for those quick moves. But right now where we closed technically would be what, 440.40. So it'll be like this. Watch for a break above this zone here, here, here. Run up, most likely it might will, because we usually see like Tesla just gap up like crazy. Run up, but then a pullback like this, and then trade the next breakout, right? That's really the best way to do it. Could there be a chance that it can come back down to this area here? Of course, right? So what you want to do here, like if you are like day trading and scalping and you want to get those very quick moves, then just wait for this to officially break, retest, and then go. If there's no retest, then the market might just do this, consolidate, and then run up, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure to check those YouTube videos out. I did post those YouTube videos, the last two. I posted one today, or yesterday. And then also check the Instagram, right? Check the Instagram. We have Instagram videos. There is news. So yeah, before we disconnect, let's do some news real quick. So let's go on the 29th to the 29th to the 3rd, because this upcoming week is going to be a brand new month. So now look at this. Monday, we have 10 a.m., right? We have 10 a.m. news. Tuesday, we have jolts. So this whole week should be a great week, but I would say really just wait until the news drops and then trade 5 minutes, 15, or maybe 30 minutes after that just to get the best move as possible. So Tuesday, Wednesday, even Wednesday, look at this, PMI at 10 a.m. So everything this week would be around 10 a.m. And yeah, so Thursday, 8:30, Friday, 10 a.m. So the only day that does not involve that 10 a.m. would be Thursday. But yeah, this week should be epic. All right, and we're gonna do our best to, really sit back and really see how the market reacts. But again, there's gonna be a day or two where the market looks like crap, and we sit back and just wait, right? Maybe right now you might be like drawing levels or key levels where you're still unsure about. That's totally okay, right? That's totally fine. So what you want to do is like let the market play out a little bit more, just an extra day or two. But all we're doing is just we're picking up from what happened on Friday and we're taking it into Monday. And if Monday gives us a better clear move, or that one confirmation that you've been waiting for the last week or the past week, then hey, that's a new refresher. And then that's where you can build off of. So I would say that's it for tonight. Thank you all for being part of this live stream. If you want me to, if you enjoy these YouTube streams and you like to see my face, then hey, let me know if you like these better. I feel like it's much more easier for us to do because the recordings, it's already there, it's already onto YouTube. All you can do is just look back and see what the stocks we were talking about, and that's it. So I think it's much more easier, right? So other than that, that's it for tonight. Thank you all for joining, and make sure to check those YouTube videos and check what I'm gonna post on Instagram on a daily basis. But that's it. I'm gonna let you all go. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. All right, peace out, and thank you all. Have a good night. Yeah, so 9:15. All right, peace out, everybody.